For centuries, humans have been growing alongside our botanical brethren. Our histories have mixed and mingled to bring us modern medical marvels, faded folklore, and everything in between. Of course, in order to understand the plant, we have to start with its roots. I'm M. Grubner-Gaddis, and this is Rooted. Hello, and welcome back to another week of Rooted. This week, we are celebrating Mental Health Awareness Month, so we'll be connecting with St. John's Wort, a plant known for helping to keep our brains balanced. But before we dig into the episode, I just want to make it really clear that I'm not a medical professional, and nothing I tell you on this show should ever be taken as medical advice. I am but a lady enamored with the power of plants, sharing what I learn with all of you for entertainment purposes. And while I do discuss the ways that plants can be used in similar ways to medications for some folks, these are not things you should try without advice from your own medical care team. And as an extra reminder, our brains are all super unique, so what works for you might not work for someone else, which is a weird and wonderful thing. And with that, we can dig into the episode. St. John's Wort, also known as Hypericum perforatum, is part of a family we actually haven't talked about yet on the show, the Hyperaceae family or St. John's Wort family. St. John's Wort is potentially the best known member of the family, but some defining characteristics are that they are all herbaceous shrubs or subshrubs with simple, complete, and opposite leaves, which means the leaves are a basic leaf shape that you think of when you think of leaves, and they always grow so they both come from the same node on opposite sides of the branch. So they've always got a pal. That, however, doesn't make them very easy to identify since that's a really common growth pattern, but their flowers and other interesting bits really do. Most plants in this family have flowers made up of 4 to 5 sepals, the things that look like petals but stick around long after those, and 4 to 5 petals, with the actual inflorescence being in the center, with a bunch of little tiny spikes that form like a flattish top. A lot of people say it kind of looks like a halo, if that helps you. Most of them are yellow, but sometimes the flowers are white. Other than that, their petals can sometimes develop black spots over time, and they eventually form into a big seed pod called a dehiscent capsule. In non-botany terms, it just means that it's a pod designed to split open at a specific weak spot so that when the time is right, they can unleash a million tiny seeds and presumably just at least a little bit of hell. Another kind of weird thing about the plants in this family is that they develop red or black glands on their leaves that release photosensitive chemicals that can cause blisters and other icky side effects when sunlight hits them. Presumably, this is kind of a defense against gallivanting cattle and other insects, especially because scientists have noticed that in plants where these glands are rubbed or activated, or insects kind of try to nibble on them, they actually end up producing more of these glands, which to us is a key indicator that they're using this as a kind of like pest preventative. St. John's Wort is actually the family member here that shows this trait most distinctly, so we'll get into that one a bit more later. Like I mentioned, St. John's Wort looks exactly like the rest of its family, and can be found growing pretty much anywhere by now. But it's actually a hybrid from 2 separate plants in the family, H. atenum and H. magulatum, and it was first found growing in Siberia. It's best known for the distinct black glands that outline each petal of the flower at maturity. And the thing about St. John's Wort, it's not too picky. It really thrives in big open areas with disturbed soil, and once they creep in, they waste little to no time making themselves at home, choking out native plants and replacing viable forage for livestock, which is why you probably won't find this guy at your local nursery. While St. John's Wort is considered a noxious weed in most places, it's also played an important role in history and medicine for a very long time. Probably even longer than we've even had terms like noxious weed. To start, we'll take things back to old-timey England when Christianity was really becoming all the rage, so we can talk about just how exactly St. John's Wort got its name. As you likely guessed, this weed is named for St. John, or John the Baptist, the guy who wrote a bunch of books in the Bible, an OG follower of Jesus Christ, and famously beheaded. Honestly, kind of a mixed bag of stuff to be known for. But the plant is specifically named for him in part for all the good it can do, and in part because some of the just really freaky time coincidences. For example, St. John's wort happens to start blooming each year right around his feast day, which is June 24th. And it starts to develop those glands we talked about earlier right around the date of his beheading in August. A little bit icky, but certainly a weird coincidence. And Christians of England weren't the only people to really fall in love with this stuff. In fact, ancient Greeks were the first to really report using and loving it for various issues ranging from period woes to serious and persistent depression, both of which are still uses it's commonly called on for today. While I didn't find any delightful or grotesque folklore specifically to share with you this week from then, there are plenty of wild stories to tell about St. John's wort. For starters, it was often said to be a strong ally spiritually, and it was strong enough not just to repel demons, but to literally cast them out of this realm. And it's because of this power that at one point Satan tried to rip them apart. However, he was no match for the powerful spirit of the plant, so he only managed to leave behind tiny holes in the leaves, which happened to be the glands we talked about earlier. In addition, it was often employed in witchcraft to bring healing, protection, and abundance, blooming just in time for the summer solstice, and being closely tied to the Green Man, the deity representing the masculine side of nature in practices that center duality. In an old German wives' tale, it was said that girls who plucked a bloom on St. John's Eve and hid it under their pillows would wake in the morning to find a flower either wilted or in perfect condition. If the flower was wilted, they needed to wait another year to find a husband. However, if the flower looked exactly as it had when they placed it under the pillow, they would be lucky in love that year. The red oils that the leaves can leak were sometimes referred to as witch's blood, and this was reportedly used in several variations of love spells to get your suitor on your side. While I couldn't find any specific recipes, there are a lot of medieval poems that kind of call that out, so it's definitely something you could research if you're interested in that. In a similar vein, it was also believed that if you did the same thing, but prayed to St. John, he would visit you and bless you with another year of health and happiness. This is especially fitting when we consider that the Greeks named this plant after Hippocrates, who they consider to be the founder of medicine, and whose initial recordings have helped us to find a great deal in understanding how nature can help us to heal. Some of the ways that St. John's wort has historically been used includes topically as a salve or dressing to treat wounds, bites, burns, scrapes, and all those other painful or itchy things that can happen to our skin. Additionally, it's also been used as a tea or tincture to treat menstrual cramps, pregnancy ailments, and mood disorders like seasonal affective disorder, depression, and quote-unquote social ailments, which today we just straight up call anxiety. The reason it was regarded as a bit of a cure-all is because St. John's wort contains strong antibacterial, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and antiviral properties. And there are all kinds of interesting chemical things that happened here that we could deep dive on, but because this podcast strives to be a 15-minute or less show and not a weeks-long documentary, I'm just going to keep it focused on how it's helping our brains, since that's what it's best known for. The interesting thing is that scientists still aren't entirely sure why St. John's wort is so effective at treating depression and other mental illnesses. But we think it's because it contains hypericin, hyperforin, and flavonoids, which might allow it to have an effect similar to an SSRI, otherwise known as a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, which effectively increases the availability of brain chemicals like serotonin, dopamine, and neuroepinephrine by preventing the brain from reabsorbing them. Kind of like when you haven't organized yet, so it seems like you have way too much stuff for the space, but then when you're putting things away, it suddenly seems like you're a minimalist. SSRIs are there to help remind your brain that minimalism isn't always everything, and sometimes a little extra joy on display is just what we need to feel happy. While there have been, quite literally a bajillion studies suggesting just as many different truths, with some saying St. John's wort doesn't work at all, others saying it works just as well as SSRIs, but only for about 12 weeks, and even one that found Zoloft didn't treat depression at all. However, one thing researchers do agree on is that it can help some folks, but that it's not something everyone should be taking, especially if someone is battling really severe depression that might need a more immediate shift in brain chemistry. While St. John's wort can do a lot of good, it does come with a slew of potential side effects to be aware of. For starters, those on birth control, heart medications, and blood thinners should absolutely steer clear, as St. John's wort can block the absorption of these medications. In addition, anyone currently taking an SSRI or other antidepressant shouldn't ingest it, as too much can lead to complications and eventually could decrease the effectiveness of those drugs as the brain adjusts. Also, while it used to be applied topically, today that seems to not be suggested, as it can increase sensitivity to sunlight and has been known to be a bit harsh for sensitive skin. This is particularly relevant for using the leaves externally, as like I mentioned earlier, the red substance it leaves on your skin when you crush it is actually called an napenthyne pigment, and it contains hypericin or pseudohypericin, or sometimes both, and they, much like chemicals found in citrus, can leave a gnarly burn blistering the skin when exposed to sunlight, making that light scrape you're trying to treat something far more painful. While St. John's wort certainly has proven to be a powerful ally for as long as we can really recall, it's a plant best leveraged in moderation and foraged for whenever possible. That's all I've got this week, but I'll be back with another famous herbal ally to dig into next week. See you then! Until next time, be kind to yourselves, be kind to the earth, and just like a plant, drink your water. If you liked the show, please subscribe and consider leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you listen. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at rooted.pod. We're finally updating regularly on YouTube at rooted.podcast, and you can check out our website, rootedpod.com, for transcripts, updates, merch, and so much more. The show is written, produced, and hosted by me. I'm Grebner Gaddis, edited by Kat Friend of Friend Diagram, and our theme music was written and produced by Eric Cluxon. Rooted is a Henbane Media LLC production.